So hello guys, welcome or welcome back to the KP show. This is our first video of 2026 and without any further ado, we'll get started with the preview for the India versus New Zealand ODI series. Now, the ODI series will be played in three ODIs, of course. For the first one being in Vadodara, the second one in Rajkot, and the third one being in Indore. We'll talk about the conditions and what can you expect from the series towards the end. But before getting into that, firstly, let's discuss about the squad that has been released for this ODI series. So it's as follows: Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Iyer is again subject to fitness. Then you have Washington Sundar, Ravi Jadeja, Mohammad Siraj, Harshit Rana, Prasidh Krishna, Kuldeep Yadav, Rishabh Pant, Nitish Reddy, Arshdeep Singh, and Yashasvi Jaiswal. Now, there are a lot of talking points for us with respect to this ODI series squad that we have. We'll talk about it step by step, starting with the three changes from the South Africa series to this series. So Gill, Iyer, and Siraj are included in the squad in place of Ruturaj Gaikwad, Tilak Verma, and Dhruv Jurel. These are the three changes. I think the interesting one, I mean, for with respect to Gill and Iyer, it is a given. The captain and vice captain both were unavailable for the ODI series because of their corresponding injuries. Gill is, of course, fully fit and he's back. He'll be leading the side in all the three ODIs. With respect to Iyer, there is still a cloud looming over his fitness. If he is fit, he definitely plays all the three ODIs. Otherwise, probably somebody else from the squad. Again, subject to discussion. We'll discuss who should that person be. But yeah, that's that. Now, the interesting one here is Siraj. So Siraj was excluded from India's ODI squad right before the Champions Trophy. He was there till the Champions Trophy, but he was not a part of the Champions Trophy squad. We heard from Rohit Sharma on his exclusion. Why he was excluded was that because he was not able to, get wickets in the middle overs. I think he wasn't that much effective with the old ball. Was the exact statement that Rohit had made. Now, how do you see Siraj's inclusion in the side, Pratik?
I think it was a given that he should have been playing in the South Africa series as well. I actually could not understand why he didn't play that series because there was no such assignment. I think only he played in Australia as well, the ODI series, all the ODIs back in October. So I really could not understand why he was not picked for the South Africa series. But all in all, I think he put up a good show in the Sad Mustaq Ali as well as VHT, whatever games he played for his team, Hyderabad. And I think he has got his rightful place back in the squad and probably in the 11 as well. And
I
also that opens up a very good discussion point that who should take the new ball. I think along with Arshdeep, it should be Siraj, I believe.
I think so. They included Siraj for the Australia ODI series. After that, I think probably a case of him being rested. Do you think for the South Africa ODI series? Also, I think they were testing out some combinations with other bowlers, and probably they saw that it didn't clearly work out because in the South Africa ODI series, as you remember, our bowlers went for a lot of runs, and it was our batting that kind of bailed us out with those extra few runs in the ODI series. Probably that probably made them think that okay, we should include Siraj considering Bumrah is also not there in the squad that we have. Do you think that could have prompted them?
Yeah, can be a case. And I think it's more about from the perspective of the next World Cup, I believe, because Siraj is not playing the T20Is as of now. So I think to keep that in check, I think he should be given a fair chance in ODIs. And he was a part of our ODI side since 2022. I think he played most of the games after Bhuvi's exclusion as a new ball bowler. So I believe he should be a he should be a part of the core group going forward in the ODIs at least.
Yep. Now, looking at perspective towards the 2027 World Cup. So you have Siraj, looking at our pace bowling reserve, you have Prasid, you have Siraj, then you have Bumrah, you have Arshdeep, and you have Harshit. These are the potential five bowlers, out of which I think maybe four of them will make it to the squad. I think Harshit is one of them. Bumrah is one of them. We know because Harshit, courtesy of his batting down the order, gives us that extra bit of an option where if you want to have batting at eight, you can go with Harshit. Again, Harshit as a bowler is also good. Not to say that he's not good, but I think more of that batting that kind of gives him an edge. Now, since two spots are blocked, I think the other two spots for which you have three bowlers, Siraj, Prasidh, and Arshdeep. Which of which two out of these three do you think will play,
I,
or do you think it is
I
subject to
think
performance?
I think Siraj should be a front runner, given that he was a part of the ODI setup for the last 4 years, 4 years.
Hmm.
So I think he should be preferred. And then after him in the pecking order, I think it's Ashdeep as of now, followed by Prasid. Because the problem with Prasid, what I have seen is he has not been able to find his length consistently. But in short bursts, he has bowled really well. But for longer parts of time, he isn't able to find his length. So that is a big concern, given he is nearing 30 as well. And I also don't see that searing pace which he had in the early part of his career, with so many injuries and all those things. So I was listening to Robbie as well in one of the podcasts, and he said that Prasid needs to realize how good a bowler he is actually, but that hasn't been the case so far. So let's see. I think Arshdeep is the front runner, but I will start with Siraj with Arshdeep as a sub.
Okay.
And
Okay. I think that then
but
that kind
he,
of resets us back to the 2023 World Cup starting how we had like with Siraj and Bumrah opening the bowling, and then now talking about 2023 World Cup, there's one other bowler that we should talk about who kind of has been away from the mix of things ever since the Champions Trophy, and that is Mohammad Shami. So, what are your thoughts on Shami not being included at all? I mean, he's not even talked about, and as far as the reports that I've read
I,
around the squad selection, they haven't even discussed Shami's name. It appears to be, although I don't know how
I
true it
mean,
is.
there are two parts to this, I believe, because there are two sections of people who have to agree for a player to come into the setup. First is the selection. First is the captain and coach. Second is the selection committee. What they think. So far, what I have believed is the selection committee with Ajit Agarkar as its head hasn't been very keen on selecting Shami for the past 1 year, regardless of his fitness and performance. So they haven't been very keen to get him in any of the squads, may it be test matches, may it be ODIs, may it be T20Is, or anything for that matter, since the conclusion of the Champions Trophy. He has had his fitness issues, that is for sure. But again, now the second part is the coach and captain duo. That is something that we need an answer to, because we are not very sure on what their strategy is actually. We will come to various points in this video as well. But on this part also, we don't know what their exact plans are. Whether they want an experienced bowler like Shami, who gets a lot from the pitch, who knows how to use the pitch to his advantage. I think one of the most beautiful seam presentations that we have seen in the modern game is from Mohammad Shami. So also, I think he has the best strike rate after Kuldeep Yadav in ODIs for us as
Hmm.
a first bowler, as a bowler. So I don't know. Means I think performance-wise, I don't think we have any issues with Shami. But only thing is, if they want him or not. That is the only case I believe.
I
If they
believe
want him
they
or not.
kind of Yeah, I think they kind of have moved on from Shami because if you look at the performance of Mohammad Shami in the domestic, which is the VHT, so in 6 matches he has like 14 wickets. His economy is something that you can say it's on the higher side. But again, with Shami, you don't expect economy rates, right? You expect Shami to pick up wickets, and I think that is genuinely something that he has done. Also, with respect to economy rates, considering how the VHT has panned out and how expensive the bowlers were, the scores that were put on. So that also isn't that bad because it's still under six. So yeah, he definitely has a case if you look at the that stats personally. Like if I were Mohammad Shami, I would definitely ask this question that, okay, so I'm performing with the ball, I'm doing what is expected of me, and that is to pick up wickets. Economy is also decent. My fitness is also good. So the question of fitness is definitely something that always pops up when you talk about guys who are into their late 30s. For example, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. So for both those guys also, considering how great players they are of ODI cricket, even on them questions were raised about fitness, right? So it was imperative that they are going to be raised for Shami as well, considering also that he's a fast bowler, so he's more prone to injuries. But I think he has proven everything that he could on his part, and I think he would be gutted on himself. Like he can't do anything in this situation. Like it's just about a preference. And as far as I know, I think Agarkar's contract is coming to an end after the 2026 World Cup. So you would see probably a new chairman of the selection committee, unless Agarkar's contract is extended. So probably you could see a change to after that. But again, it's a pure call by the selectors and team management whether they want to include Shami or not. Also, it depends on the team combination because clearly India's new ball scenario is already sorted with three options there. Of course, Bumrah is there. The other option would be Siraj or Arshdeep, right? So, with respect to new ball, it is sorted. Probably they would look at somebody who's a good first change bowler, and then there's the competition between maybe Harshit, Shami, even Prasid for that matter, because he's in the squad, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think another way of looking into this is they don't want to carry more injury prone players
Hmm.
because given the fitness history of Shami for the last 2 or 3 years, uh, luck hasn't been very kind on him regarding to fitness.
Yeah.
So, although you have a Bumrah, you have even Prasid is very injury prone. So I think that is another way of looking into this thing that they are looking for more safer options who they can probably prepare for the next 2 years. And I think that can be a case.
Yep, I think that's the scenario for Shami. But now let's move on. Now we are kind of moving from a bottom-up approach here because we talked about the pace bowling results. Now let's talk about the spinners. So Akshar Patel, and I think not just the spinners, the all-rounders as a whole. Because firstly, we have to talk about Akshar Patel's exclusion. Then they have selected Ravindra Jadeja and Washington Sundar as well. This is something that is being carried on from the South Africa series also. So that's a question. Also, the question on Nitish Reddy. So we have seen, let's first start with Nitish Reddy's conversation because that seems to be something which is straightforward, and I think that's something that we can conclude very quickly. Now, how has Nitish Reddy been used so far in the ODIs, considering he's a replacement of Hardik Pandya, and Hardik Pandya generally should bat at least at number six or number seven, right? Because he's a batsman. So Hardik Pandya is a pure all-rounder, but we are considering him to be a batsman who can bowl, right? That is his role in the side, not a primary bowler, right? So I don't think the team is looking that way for Nitish Reddy. What do you think?
See, I have not understood his inclusion or sorry, non-selection or his role in the team till now. I don't think even he knows what he's for there for in the team for the last 1.5 year. I mean, you select him in, you don't when he plays, you don't give him the ball. He's batting at number 8. I mean, I, I really can't understand the tactics behind that. I really can't. I mean, what I can say, if someone like a Ravi Shastri is saying that he's too good a batter to bat after number 5, I don't think he's a fool, right? So, and that is happening across formats. So, okay, sometimes his fitness might be a concern, which may have been prohibiting his chances of success as a batter. So that's why you push him down the order, or you have better batters who can bat at number 4, 5, 6, or whatever. But in certain cases, you know that Hardik Pandya will bat at 6 or at the worst he bats at 7. Otherwise, why will you have such a hard hitting all rounder and you bat him at 8 or number 9? Right? It doesn't make any sense to me. So If he's a like for like replacement for Hardik Pandya, you have to give him the same role. He has to perform the same role. He has to bowl few overs with the ball if required, and he has to bat at number six, at worst at number seven. Right? Even during Virat Kohli's captaincy tenure, if you see, we use Hardik Pandya as a floater as well in many of the ODIs, and he proved very fruitful to us as well. Maybe against Australia, maybe in the World Cup of 2019, he proved fruitful to us with those quick 30s and 40s, right? So you are not giving him a chance to bat. He's not. He doesn't get a chance to bowl a lot as well, even if there is due. So what is the exact role of Nitish Reddy in the team? I need to ask. I really can't
Yep,
understand. So
yep,
my point
absolutely.
is, he has if he is playing, that guy bats six at worst seven and bowls a minimum of 5 overs every game. That is the role that he should be assigned with. But I haven't seen it so far in whatever ODIs he has played.
Yeah, and if I'm not wrong, Washington Sundar has actually batted ahead of him in one or two of the ODIs. I don't recall it correctly, but I do remember something like that happening because how else would Nitish Reddy end up at number eight, right? So again, this also kind of you can say segues into the selection or rather non-selection of Akshar Patel because this is kind of a mess entirely, right? Now, before Gambhir came into this thing as a coach, as a head coach, our top five was certain that KL is at number five, and the top four is of course fixed even in Gambhir's tenure. But yeah, now since Gambhir became the head coach, we started pushing Akshar at five, KL at six, then Hardik seven, and so on. Now, whenever Akshar is not playing, right, you have uh, you have Ravindra Jadeja, right? And I don't think what we did in the Champions Trophy, having both Akshar Patel and Jadeja in the same 11, is going to work in South Africa. Even if you say, okay, the groundwater level is low and the ball is going to spin in South Africa, I agree. Those things can happen, and you might require extra spinners there. But I don't see the possibility of having both Akshar and Jadeja in the same 11. Firstly, okay. Now, now when you are playing Washington Sundar, firstly, if you are playing him as a replacement of Akshar Patel and batting him at number five, I don't think Washington Sundar has the ability as a batter to bat at number five in place of Akshar Patel. That is the first thing. Okay. Now, secondly, is Washington Sundar a bowling all-rounder or is he a batting all-rounder? Same question that we had for Nitish Reddy as well. I think there's a lot of gap in the role clarity, I believe, because considering their skill set, for me, Nitish Reddy is a batting all-rounder and Washington Sundar is a bowling all-rounder. But I don't think they have been used that way by the team management. I don't know why.
Yeah, yeah, that is the second point, right? The problem with Washington Sundar so far in his white ball career has been he has never had a role clarity properly. Sometimes you see him bowling in the power play, sometimes you see him batting in the power plays. So even if he has been in the circuit for like from 2016 or 17 in RPS, I don't remember exactly, till date, none of the teams have given him a proper role, or I can put it this way, he hasn't been able to justify his role in whatever teams he plays for, either as a bowler or as a batter, which has been a major concern, my concern with him. He's a very talented guy. You see his batting, the eye test says it all. He's a very talented batter, good handy bowler. But the problem is he hasn't been able to justify his talent because he doesn't have the numbers. That is the reason why we have so much ambiguity around him, whether he's a batting all rounder or a bowling all rounder. So that is a concern. Now, first thing is, why was Akshar Patel removed from the 11 in first case? Because he was playing with you for in Australia. Then in South Africa series, all of a sudden, why you dropped him? Because he was playing all the T20s. Or has he become the next Hardik Pandya or Bumrah that you want to protect? That is something also you need to answer. If that is not the case, then I don't know. I really don't know why he has been removed. or dropped or
So
rested or whatever has happened.
with respect to Akshar Patel, I think I do want to give the benefit of the doubt to the management that Akshar Patel has been rested, but I'm not sure because the way the things have happened in Gautam Gambhir's tenure, yeah, probably it's something that they would go back on. Let's say the decision had been made for Washington Sundar to replace Akshar Patel as of this moment. Probably they're gonna go back on it because eventually they'll learn that it's not gonna work. Because Akshar Patel is a different breed of cricketer, and I think he also, if you look at the two ICC trophies that we won, the Champions Trophy and the T20 World Cup of 2024. Yeah, you can say Klaasen smashed him for that 30 runs in 1 over or whatever. But apart from that, and even in that game also, he was the one who got us those critical runs, even when Virat Kohli was struggling, that 47 of 30 odd runs, which actually pushed us to a decent score, which we could defend in the first place. So he's a talented cricketer, and like Shreyas Iyer, he has been influential in getting us those two ICC trophies. Now, if you are thinking to replace him altogether without any good reason or rhyme towards it, I think it's not going to work, and probably they should go back on their decision. Uh, but yeah, what is concerning for me is him not playing ODIs at all. So we talked about protecting our assets. For Hardik Pandya, I understand, and I think we got the statement also from the BCCI that he's not fit to bowl 10 overs as of now. That is why he's not been picked in the side to give him that rest so that he comes back fit for the T20 World Cup. Same goes for Bumrah. I mean, Bumrah fitness is not a concern, but we want to preserve him for the T20 World Cup, which is perfectly understandable. Coming to Akshar Patel came off of an injury. Then he played a few games. He wasn't out of the last two T20s against South Africa due to any injury. It was due to illness. Illness means kind of a flu, a fever, or something like that, which is okay. Now I don't think Akshar Patel should be rested, in my opinion, because he's a spinner at the end of the day. I know he plays three formats. He actually, at some point of or the other, you deserve rest. You should be given rest. But as of now, it has been already one series that he has been rested, and I think this is the one series where he should have been back. And now that he's not back, it kind of surprises me and also gives me kind of a bad feeling. So
Yeah, exactly, and that is the problem because we don't know what is exactly happening behind the scenes, behind this non-selection of a player like Akshar Patel. He has always performed for us in the clutch moments. Even in the Champions Trophy final, I think he scored 40 or 35, 40 odd runs, quick fire, and stitched a very crucial partnership with Shreyas Iyer when the game was almost stuck with the top three falling in a quick succession of 20 runs. So I really don't understand the logic behind not selecting Akshar or rather selecting Washington over Akshar. If you want to play
hmm,
one single left arm spinner, I think Akshar Patel is the front runner because he has given performance for you. In that
yeah,
case, okay, you want to go ahead with Jadeja. If that is the case, then Nitish Reddy comes in as an automatic selection at number 5 or 6 because he's going to be a second all rounder. Because either way, Hardik Pandya has to play. If Hardik Pandya doesn't play, in no way you are winning the World Cup. No matter whom you bat with, whom you bowl, nothing would. It doesn't matter. And we have seen it, we have the data in the past three tournaments. He is the most important player in the team, the role that
yeah,
he performs.
absolutely.
So if you want a backup for him, you want to have to you have to prepare him in that way as well, right? And if you don't
Exactly,
prepare him, then what is the use of selecting Nitish Reddy? So you
exactly,
are
and
wasting a
that
selection.
is you're wasting a selection, and you're not even preparing him to be a perfect backup as well. For see, when Gautam Gambhir came into the picture, the first thing that he said is, "I want results. Don't judge me on my preparations and all. I don't believe in process. I trust in results." I understand, and I think I've been trying my best to judge him based on that only. And for me, bilateral results don't matter. Okay, and this is where you can do all the experimentation that you want, but what I believe is when you do some experimentation, there has to be some logic behind it, there has to be some sense behind it, and there has to be a consistency in your experimentation also. If you move around things every other game, it's not going to work, especially in this format. Maybe in T20s, it can still work because every day is a new day, every game is a different game. and the flow of every game is different. So there are a n number of scenarios that are possible in T20 cricket, which is understandable. But ODI cricket actually requires some kind of stability because it's not like T20s. It's you cannot keep swapping things. There has to be certain roles for certain players. Only then the eventual final picture that you are trying to build is going to work. So that's where I have this problem. Now you have to give Nitish Reddy those same opportunities that if Hardik Pandya had played in the 11 would have got. Only then you'll be able to build him as that backup. Let him fail. Let him concede maybe 85 runs in his 10 overs. Not a problem. If you lose bilaterals,
But
nobody's
at
going to
least bowl
question you.
him 10. At least
But at
bowl
least
him
bowl
10
him 10.
overs.
Yeah. And even in domestic cricket, Nitish Reddy has bowled well. So I have seen very few games, and in those, he has bowled decently. I mean,
I think he got a
whatever
hat
you
trick
can
in the
expect.
BHP.
Yeah,
I
yeah, he
think he
got a
got a
hat
hat
trick, and
trick in BHP.
that was a good hat
Yeah.
trick as well. So I mean, yeah, give him that opportunity, let him fail, and so the thing is, the opportunities that you are giving to Washington Sundar, those opportunities actually should be given to Nitish Reddy because there is a plethora of spin bowling all-rounders in this country, and already two top spin bowling all-rounders in Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja are your mainstays in ODI cricket. You don't need to immediately, kind of build a third one. There is still time. You can take that. I mean, I'm not saying remove Washington Sundar altogether. What I'm saying is build what you don't have, which is a seam bowling all-rounder in Nitish Reddy. So yeah.
For sure.
So that's all with respect to this middle order model of all-rounder that we have. Now let's move on. I think we've already figured out what our playing 11 is going to be, but there are a few things which we still need to talk about. So Pant, Dhruv Jurel, Gaikwad, Tilak Verma, these four players, of which only one could have been anyway selected, right? So let's break it down step by step. With respect to Tilak Verma, so I think we both absolutely adore and love Tilak Verma, and I can't wait for him to be a mainstay in ODI cricket because I know his potential. Uh, he's a phenomenal batter. I've seen him through his under 19 days as well. He'll eventually come to the side, but I don't think it's already time for him yet. I think it's only the after the retirement of our stalwarts, there are two spaces that are going to open up, and then only Tilak Verma can come into the side, is what I believe as of now, right? So we will not discuss too much about him. Now, the other three players are Pant, Jurel, and Ruturaj Gaikwad. Now, Pratik, I'll let you take the first bite of the cake, and yeah, let's
So,
discuss. What do you think?
yeah. So, Rituraj Gaikwad, I think he was he's a designated opener or bats number three at some times. But in VHT, I
Hmm.
think I have seen him bat at bat at top of the order for Maharashtra in all the seasons. So I really don't understand what is the case. Means they asked him to bat at number four. He scored 100 in one of the games. Two games he got. One in the first game he was off caught by a blinder point by Dewald Brevis. Then I think the second game he got a very good 100 in it was I think where it was Ranchi. No, Ranchi. Yeah, Ranchi. The
Raipur.
second game.
Uh,
Raipur. Yeah,
no,
in
first game
Raipur.
was in Ranchi, second was in Raipur.
Second one is in Raipur, yeah. So Raipur he got 100 as well. Third game he didn't get a chance to bat. So my problem was if you selected him as a backup opener to Shubman Gill or Yashasvi as well because Gill was not to play. So you batted him at number four, he scored the runs and then you drop him immediately. So I could not understand the decision actually about Rituraj. First, his
See,
selection I could not understand. Why was he selected
huh,
to bat at number four with Rishabh Pant and Dhruv Jurel both in the side? And then
huh,
I can't understand his non-selection. So
See,
it's a bit
so
confusing.
this is exactly the way I also see it. Okay, firstly, there are two spots. Okay, I believe for the batting part. One could be your backup opener, and then the other is your wicket keeper. Or one is your wicket keeper, the other could be a backup middle order batsman. For example, if the wicket keeper can bat at the top of the order. This is how I would build my side. Given that Yashasvi Jaiswal, he got that century in the third game. So, and Rutraj also got a century, but he got it at number four. So, first thing, Rutraj shouldn't have batted in that number four slot. Rather, what should have been done is Yashasvi batting at the top of the order for Gill and Rishabh Pant coming in at number four, or Dhruv Jirel if the team management preferred Dhruv Jirel, whatever, one of the keepers. So that's something that I would have done, and then I would have tested what's happening. And then based on that, I would have taken a decision. Now that you have introduced Gaikwad at number four, does it mean that we look at Gaikwad as a proper middle order batter replacement? Or do we look at him as a top order batsman who can sometimes bat in the middle order, like as a flexible batter for both the slots? So that is a question. Now, between Jaiswal and Gaikwad, I think due to continuity point of view, and you also tend to look at the injustice that has happened to him in T20 cricket, right? Now at least we have Samson and Abhishek Sharma at the top, who you cannot question that okay, these two guys, one of them should go for Jaiswal. You cannot question that because they have actually built their spot. Okay, so given all that, Jaiswal is one of my picks. Also, he's a lefty. He adds something in the top five. One spot is gone, so only one spot is left, and that I believe should go to the wicket keeper always. Now, between Pant and Jurel, I would go for Pant purely because he's somebody who has been carried into the side since he returned from his injury. I think he started in the Sri Lanka series as well. Now, the questions around him is that Rishabh Pant hasn't played too much of ODI cricket in the last, let's say, 2 years. But again, who is to blame here that he hasn't played too much of ODI cricket? I think it is the team management, right? Because see, in a World Cup scenario, why are you taking Rishabh Pant in your 11? Why are you taking him
Yeah,
in the
play
11?
him
To play
to
him.
play him in the
If
middle
there is
order.
an injury, if there's any injury, you will play him, right? There were
Correct.
two injuries. An opener was injured. Jaiswal came in as the opening batter replacement. A middle order batter was injured. Who should have come into that replacement spot?
It has to be
Rishabh
Rishabh
Pant.
Pant. Exactly.
Rishabh Pant. So that's something that they didn't do. As you said, that I can't figure out why. Now, after Rituraj has performed, you have removed him. I again can't understand why. So
So
either,
what I understand is
uh,
either way Rishabh Pant is not going to play in this series as well because Shreyas is back fit. He scored I think
hmm,
82 or 53 in the last VST game yesterday or day before yesterday
hmm,
for Mumbai. So I don't see him playing either way. So that was the best chance where you could have played him all the three games as the backup means as at number four because Shreyas was
hmm,
not there in the South Africa series. So
yeah,
I really can't understand. And also with the same thing, you are saying that Rishabh should be a back means Agarkar is saying that Rishabh should be a backup wicket keeper. In that way, during the selection of Australia series, ODI series, you told that Dhruv Jurel also bats in the middle order. He is very talented. We are looking forward to him. So without playing him, also you dropped him. So now you are saying that we cannot drop Rishabh Pant because we haven't played him. So I really can't understand what is happening. Means
exactly the
or
problem.
means what I heard from Ashwin as well that not everyone is treated equally, which should not be the case. Every individual is being treated in a different way from the same selection committee for same roles. So that is a bit confusing because if Dhruv Jurel has not played and he was selected and now he is not selected, the same should go with Rishabh Pant as well. He has also not played. So that spot should
See,
have gone to someone else. But that is not the case. So it's a bit confusing if you ask me.
yeah, again, for this one also, I also believe that everybody should be treated equally, but I think it's not also possible to do that. I understand it, but again, there has to be a consistency in your method, is what I believe, at least in terms of roles. At least then you can justify that, okay, these are the people for this particular role. We want him because we have kind of bias, which is okay, which is perfectly fine, right? Because every coach, captain, whoever has always had certain biases from their side, which is again human, right? Starting, let's say, from Saurabh Ganguly, he had biases for certain players that he wanted to play, and he has himself identified them as match winners. Same goes for MS, same was with Virat, same was with Rohit, and the same could be with Gautam as well, which is fine. But there has to be a consistency. For example, now they are preferring Washington Sundar. I don't have a problem with that player being preferred. I have a problem with him being preferred in inconsistent roles. What I have a problem with is when they're trying to fit a player into different roles. That is where I have a problem. For example, like Shubman Gill, they had a preference for Shubman Gill, but it was very clear that he's going to bat at the top of the order. Right? Now, let's say if they were trying to insert him into different roles and see how I can fit Shubman Gill into the T20 setup, that would have been a problem. And I think that also indirectly it was a problem because they were changing a lot of things in the middle order to fit Shubman Gill at the top because the keeper position, right? I think
Exactly.
that's the thing that needs to be rectified here. Yeah. Any other thoughts, or you want to move to the playing 11s?
I think we can move to the playing 11. I think there is a lot of confusion in the squad when we read out the squad,
Yeah.
when we see the data of the past matches or the past elections. It becomes very confusing.
Yeah, exactly. Because that is why we have to do these kind of videos where we have to talk about the squad. I mean, in every squad announcement there is some controversy. I mean, if I have to see and picture the 2027 World Cup, I have a very clear picture of at least 12 players. The three players, which should be straightforward, is creating a lot of chaos. And again, that chaos is kind of seeping into the playing 11 because the roles are being not, put in very clearly. That is the problem. But anyway, let's talk about the playing 11. I think the first five is very straightforward for us, and both of us will agree. So will our viewers. So you start with Shubman Gill, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul. This is your top five. Now, now 6, 7, 8. What do you think? What would be your 6, 7, 8?
If I am the captain, or if I am the one who is making these who is choosing the team, I go with Nitish Kumar Reddy at six,
Hmm.
Jadeja at six as a lefty, and then Nitish at seven, and Harshit Rana at eight. And
Hmm.
the Kuldeep Yadav is an automatic selection, and
Yeah,
the two pace
at 9.
bowlers will be Siraj and Arshdeep.
Perfect. This is exactly the same 11 that I would also choose. And I think the only changes if you want to make that will be Prasidh and Harshit, depending on who you want to play. I think,
No,
as I
the
said
thing
earlier,
is,
also Harshit has performed well.
I
So
think I think there is this one player, Harshit Rana. I think he has to be given the most number of games leading to the next World Cup in 2027. Reason being, he is the one who is going to be your first change bowler, and also he provides you some batting cushion at number eight. Okay, he might not be a Chris Morris kind of a player or a Jason Holder kind of a player, but you can build him into 1 in 2 years because that guy has talent. He backs a punch as a batter. So I think he should be given maximum chances, and that should be the way forward to the 27 World Cup.
and while we say that, we are also saying this not just because he has that batting ability. We are just talking about his batting ability because he has it. But as a bowler, we are looking at his
Yeah,
performances. And whatever trolls has happened for Gautam Gambhir for picking Harshit Rana, even we ourselves questioned Gambhir for constantly favoring Harshit, which is fair, which was fair at that point. But now Harshit has already put in those performances and he has shown that he can bowl well, right? And also he can be that effective first change bowler that we are looking for due to his bowling abilities and added to the fact that he can bat a bit. He should be someone who can be given a lengthy rope. Again, if he doesn't bowl well and if he looks ineffective, concedes like 70 odd in 10 overs without picking any wickets, then you can definitely revisit that selection. So as of now, I think this is the best 11 that we can put on. Of course, now when Akshar Patel comes back, and I believe he will directly replace Jadeja. And when Hardik comes in, he'll directly replace your Nitish Reddy. And when Bumrah comes in, he'll replace either of Siraj or Arshdeep, depending on performances. For me, I think Pradeep prefers Siraj.
For sure.
So yeah. So that's how I think the playing 11 is gonna line up. Now let's talk about New Zealand. I think I was looking at New Zealand squad, Pratik. I don't think they have any sort of good bowling coming into the ODI series. And looking at the venues,
Yeah,
what do you think is gonna happen? Vadodara,
I think
Rajkot, and
it's
Indore.
plenty of runs, plenty of dew in the second innings, given it is on the coastal line, very close to the coast, and it's going to be runs at an hemorrhaging rate. So
Yeah,
we have to be very clear about it. Even in Indore is a small ground, the Holkar Stadium.
Kolkata
So yeah,
Stadium.
it, it should be
But
fun,
the one
I
thing,
believe.
one thing though, New Zealand also is bringing in a good batting lineup at least. So you can expect explosion from their side with the bat at least. Maybe with the ball, they
Yeah,
aren't that great, but yeah,
I think with the bat, I think only change I see is this guy is not there. Kane Williamson is not there. But for a large chunk of last means the 2023 World Cup, I haven't seen him play in white ball cricket a lot. I think he played few games in the Champions Trophy towards the end because William was batting in Pakistan. I remember. Then they dropped Conway and brought in Williamson at number three, and William shifted to the opener. And I think yeah, Glenn Phillips was in tremendous form. I hope he gets some good runs so that finally someone can pick him in the 11. Ashish Mehta, this is for you. And
yeah,
what else? I think Daryl Mitchell, always a great ODI batter. Number one, he was. I think he and Rohit had a tussle, and during the last month, I think before the South Africa series, he and Rohit had a tussle for the number one spot. And Michael Bracewell is a very handy batter as well. Chapman is the. I think they have a good batting unit, but the main part is bowling. But I don't think that is going to matter a lot because in these wickets, 350 is like a cakewalk, no matter
yeah.
whom you play.
Chapman isn't there in the squad, but yeah, rest of them are. So I think I think it's going to be a good contest, especially with the bat. But with the ball, I think they are a bit light. They do have Kyle Jamieson. They have very talented Zach folks. But yeah, that's all that they have. I'm afraid. So
Even
apart from
Santner
that,
is
there's
not
going to
there.
be yeah. Sanders though was supposed to be the captain. He's not there though. What can you do? I think they are
He
all
has,
there
I
for
think,
the
he's
franchise. They have some franchise
no, no,
commitments
no.
as well, if I'm not wrong.
I think Santner has some injury. I think he's being reserved for the World Cup and the T20I series as well because he is named in the T20. He's the captain. He's their captain. So I think he will
Hmm.
be back in the T20I series. But apart from him, I don't know what is. Milne is playing in the South Africa T20 with Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Not sure what is the case with Lockie Ferguson. And Duffy and Matt Henry, I think they are being rested for the T20I series and the World Cup to follow. So all in
Kane is
all,
playing
I
for
think someone like a Will O'Rourke, I would have loved to see a Will O'Rourke in the ODI setup as well because he looked positive in whatever games he played last year in India, in IPL as well as the Test series that we played with them. So yeah,
Yep. So I think all in all, we can say that we can expect some good runs from this ODI series. I think Rajkot is also very great for scoring runs, but I think the wicket does turn a bit. I remember going to Rajkot right before the 2023 World Cup, the game against Australia, the one that we lost. I think that was a precursor for us for the final as well, where we failed to chase down, I think 350 odd scored by Australians in that game. David Warner especially was going berserk in that game.
but 350 that means it is a good batting track. It might turn a
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
but all in all, it's a very good batting track.
It actually slows
Otherwise, you
down
won't
as
get.
the game goes on. Yeah. So,
Oh. if there is no dew.
Yeah, if there is no dew, or if there is very little dew also. I think the game was in February, the one that I went to. Or was it? No, no, sorry. That wasn't in February. That was in September. So different time frame. Now to January. So, but yeah. So all in all, that's the video that we had for the preview of the India versus New Zealand series. Pratik, before we leave, your predictions.
I think we should win 3-0 this one. I don't see New Zealand because the bowling is extremely thin this time. But
Highest
yeah,
scorer
New Zealand are known to punch above their weight, so I hope there is a good contest.
contest. Yeah. Who will be the highest scorer?
I think Virat, the kind of form that he has shown in South Africa series, then
So
again in
easy,
the
right? So
VST,
easy.
whatever
It
games he
feels
played.
it
Yeah,
feels
I
so
think he
good
is.
to be able to say this with full confidence. It feels like we
Yeah,
are back in 2016. I'm in touch wood.
yeah.
I hope we don't
I,
we don't kind
yeah,
of jinx him. But yeah, expecting a lot of runs from Virat and of course from the rest of the Indian side
Rohit
as
as
well.
well.
I hope. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty sure Rohit's going to score plenty of runs here. Considering the opposition bowling that we have, Rohit should absolutely have fun toying around with the New Zealand bowlers. That's my hope. So, yeah. So that's the video. We'll all see you in the next one. Up until then, ciao.